you're tired of being censored on social media, join 6zeros.net. It's black owned, black operated, and black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM cotton crew neck, the Fearless Ancestors tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 6zeros.net. Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 6zeros.net. Ah.
I think we need to talk about some things are going on in our community, yeah. Ooh, now back in the days, a nigga got touched up when he done fucked up, and it was all good in the hood. You had to earn your respect now. But nowadays, you got bands over here, stands over here, stands over there. That's why I'm down to just a few homies. This one's for my real ones, yeah. You know, raise this is for my day ones, yeah. And always down for life, down for life, down for life. No matter what city we in, we down for life. Here we always on the big wheels, doing big things.
This for my real ones. Cause fake niggas, I don't feel none. Hate all you want, I guarantee that money still come. Big papa to these children. I've been on these meal runs. You should be getting thanks. Pilgrims, come and catch a wave now. You rather catch a case. I'd rather you catch a fade than catch a bullet to the face. Better man up. We come to get down. This ain't no stand up. Respect due. I come for it now. Fuck what your plan was. It's LA, VA. Still in PDX, but they better relay. I'm coming for them checks. Need a whole lot of commas for my people. That's my set. My circle small as your threats. Every dot I got, I connect. I'm a thoroughbred. Laced up to the world end. All my niggas riding, tearing shit up like a whirlwind. Then my day ones, literally, same ones. Two things to remember, who you got and where you came from.
This is for my day ones, yeah. Always ready to ride. This is for my day ones. This is for my day ones. 10 toes in it, you're always down for life. Down for
All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially. Yes, indeed. Hopefully everyone is all right and doing well. How's everybody doing this evening? This is the midweek report. For those who are new to this channel, what we do here is serious news and politics is what we do for the foundational Black American and also for the diaspora abroad. But this is a B1 space, Black first, always. And, so with all of that out the way, let me see who we got in the chat. All right. So Capricornus, welcome. Viewer 1, my chief moderator in the house. Shawana S. Silent D Productions, Dark Skin Brother, Buginis, Judah Queen, One Who Cares, Oyela Arquette. All right. So who knows? Some of y'all may be caught up on Twitter Spaces because you see my name in it. Yeah, I've been informed that that there's a Twitter Space going on right now with my name on it. So welcome to the Beatzilla PDX official show, to where I guess I'm an ass kisser and a clout chaser. However, you haven't heard that person's name on my broadcast, but, I guess it was meant for them to put my name on their infamous Twitter Space world. And, I guess go on a rant to a bunch of people who have no clue on who I am. So I guess whoever is partaking in that, I guess, everybody has their TMZ lane. So I don't knock that, if that's what it is. You want to get into gossip, reality talk. That's cool, because, truth be told, I could have long been petty, but, it's not really that serious to me because, truth be told, it's irrelevant to the mission. So, anybody that watches this broadcast, you can see what I talk about very clearly. There's no confusion. And not only that, you can see evidence of me having been around for a long time. I put up stuff on my Instagram all the time from 2010, 2012. I have videos that go back that far. So when people are, hey, this person's this person's that, and you have only shown up on the scene for maybe a year or two, maybe not go at somebody with such a established reputation. Because, see, when people start hearing certain things, let me go check this one out. But, these spaces are crazy these days, and people have a lot of different profiles, so they tend to go and troll. For me, I don't have, I have no need for that. I don't understand what the whole clout thing is. Anybody that's seen this broadcast fully understands there's nothing about this channel that has anything to do with clout. We be talking celebrity gossip if that was the case. Like I said, if I wanted clout, I'd be a quartet singer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the name is Beatzilla. I clearly do something else. So, I mean, if I wanted to do that, good grief. No, clout chasing ain't my thing because I already got my claim to fame. So I don't know what you're talking about there. But cool. We are in a different time frame, a different world. The digital atmosphere puts people in a certain mind state. So a lot of people can, assume things. And I've said repeatedly, for one specific purpose, I sidestep mess. So when people are trying to put my name in something, you already know that's out of character for me. Oh man, I don't worry about any haters because the truth of the matter is, like I said, if I wanted to be petty, I could be petty. And there's a lot of reputations getting built right now. And I don't have anything out there like what people have put out there. So I don't know why people would be trying certain folks. It just doesn't make any sense to me, other than maybe this is damage control because they think I'm as messy and as petty as them. So then, you can just get bombarded with screenshots and all of that. Well, if I never did that to Yvette Carnell, why would I do that to you when you are nowhere near her relevance? That's something that you may have never heard of. That's called integrity. But see, yeah, that's where people get confused because integrity and clout don't go hand in hand. So if anybody comes and checks out what I do to see who this Beatzilla PDX official that you're talking about, well, that would be me. And the one thing that we do not do here is clout chase. One thing I'll tell anybody, if you want to put me to the test, go down my timeline, look at my thumbnails, look at my titles. Then go down that person's timeline and their thumbnails. That person also has a YouTube channel, by the way. The very first thing that they put out was thirsty. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Ain't never heard that person's name mentioned on my broadcast. I just had to say something today on Twitter because they won't leave me alone. So what they're doing is actually using troll accounts to troll me, but they always will give themselves away. So, it is what it is. And what's so sad about it is this poor soul is 50. And True obviously is having over the hill crisis and having to come to terms with her with her, I guess, wherever she feels that she has not landed. I don't know. I don't really know what it is because see, I can't determine it because I've never had a relationship with this woman. We have never talked personally one-on-one ever. Other than also being a fellow mod for Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur. We have no contact. I've been inboxed. She could see that they have not been accepted on Instagram and Twitter. And now my name's in the Twitter space. I'll just let somebody figure out who's kind of cloud chasing. Anyway, what we do here is we teach and elevate. So the first thing that we're going to hit tonight on the Beatzilla PDX official show is something that I don't know if anybody actually heard because this one kind of went under the radar last week because of all this stuff going on with Russia and Ukraine. It's funny. I had to think about Ukraine because when I think Ukraine, I think Nazi. But I mean, yeah, you guys have tuned into a great broadcast because y'all gonna see some stuff here tonight that you ain't gonna see on mainstream media. Trust that. So, it is what it is. Dang, 50 and childish Nicole Johnson. Yeah. Like if you go to Twitter, just look up Twitter. The space is probably up with my name on it right now. But see, one of the people that she's co-hosting with that also got roasted here because they've blocked me. I can't see their spaces, so I don't know. And so we've just left it at, I leave it at that. It's not really worth my time investing. Yeah, they're doing a space, and actually invited me to go to the space before my own broadcast. Like, are you kidding? I'm sorry, you don't garner that much attention from me. I mean, man, it's amazing to me. But yeah, unfortunately, this internet can it can really draw up some. So the crazies come out, and so all I will say is this: vet everybody. Maybe that's why she's upset, because I told you to vet everybody and everything. I had to, expose what she was doing because she won't leave it alone. And there's nothing I like I said, I believe she perceives I have sent somebody to do something to her no. And what's funny is I had to go look for myself today. So I just had to look it up. And out from the outside looking in, y'all got a whole lot of beef going on them little Twitter spaces with different people. Y'all going back, that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you think I got something to do with that, you are out of your mind. That's your own messiness that is bringing all of that beef on you. I wasn't even aware that any of that was going on until today, because I don't care about what y'all doing. I've already roasted the sock dancer. Where are we going from there? Y'all enjoy whatever y'all getting from there? Cool. But I don't know what would make this woman put my name in a space like I give a damn. Thanks for the attention, though, because maybe when y'all come over here and y'all want to get some real content, this ain't entertainment. This is real politics and news over here. That's what the category I'm under. And that's what we do. We speak truth to power. We are about empowerment, and we are about rising. We are not about sitting up here staying under this system, and we are about dismantling the system of white supremacy and replacing it with a system of justice. Meaning my target number one is white supremacy. If anybody that has my name in anything talking mess about me cannot put that to the test, be gone. Because that's all that matters. Are you doing your part to fight? See, for right now, there's a whole discussion about these people over there, them Africans getting mistreated. There's only 10 individuals, and I can say, I'm just saying 10 to be generous, but only really 5 I can think of, myself being one, that made the mainstream media take this story up. That's what new black media does, because we're not black entertainment news. Now, let's get to what we do here. Check this out, family, because over here, we call out white supremacy, not to spend all of our time calling out other black folks over petty nonsense.
What took place next has this Farmington High School student and many others in the school community appalled.
She says to me, "Get your cotton picking hands off of that." Like, I don't think I comprehended what she said at first, and then she repeated it.
And it was all caught on video.
You cannot say that, like, that's really bad. And so then she goes, "It's an old saying that we used to say." And so I go, "Who do you think they said it to?"
The event sparked students at Farmington and nearby North Farmington High to walk out of their schools Thursday afternoon in protest of this incident and to support the student.
No justice, no peace! And we're tired of injustice. We're tired of having to face this in our school. We're supposed to come to learn. We're done with it.
Yeah, you got to stand up for what's right, and you can't just can't let that slide.
My parents are really upset about this.
Parents were also upset by the incident.
It's hurtful that something like that is still going on. I'm so sorry it's happened.
It's intolerable, especially in 2022.
The superintendent of the school district also responding.
The administration immediately addressed the situation and removed that substitute teacher and worked with their contracted service to make sure that she's not back.
In fact, this substitute teacher is no longer allowed to teach anywhere in the district. The superintendent also applauded the victim in this incident for immediately going to staff members who deal with conflict.
Well, that's a real testament to the relationships we try to build with students in our school.
The superintendent says it was crucial for students to make their voices heard.
I want to applaud all of them for doing it peacefully.
The victim in this incident says he has a message for the substitute teacher.
I just hope you can find some love in your heart. I don't have any hate towards her. I feel like the only way that things are gonna change is if everyone has love for everyone.
In Farmington, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Well, good they got that woman out the paint because she needed to be gone. Cotton picker. CH464. What's going on, my brother? My Lord. Boy, oh boy. Well, my bad. That woman will now have to go find a new career path because she will not be substituting anywhere anytime soon, which is good because she don't need to be around no kids. Because that's just evil. I mean, well, that's an old saying. Yeah, we know. There was an incident here in this city that happened with a prominent white musician that, tends to, has for some reason been in certain circumstances that have been mislabeled. One of them was calling him a funk legend. Now, understanding when you're going to be in this area, funk legend. Say who? No, the only one who has that title is my band. I'm trying to think of who? Where that? So it was a little joke, and this is back, a few years old. It's like Facebook jokes. And, they was just clowning him. So, Cash was making memes because, you know good and damn well you shouldn't have let them put that thing on you, and then they're going to run this ad in this city talking about you a funk legend. No, the hell you not. You a jazz saxophone player, brother. White boy from Mississippi. So what he ended up doing was jumped into the thread and was upset and called one of my good brothers, one of my bandmates, as a matter of fact, a tar baby. The other bandmate, my guitar player, he gets the screenshot, knowing that this cat is going to immediately delete it. Like, did you just call him a tar baby? Oh, that's an old expression. That's what you call a stupid person down south. All right. Now, let me tell you something about Portland. Portland is a Southern transplant. There ain't nobody here that don't have roots. Mostly here is from Arkansas. Majority of people from here are from Arkansas. So most of these lines here come straight out of Arkansas and Texas and a little bit of Mississippi. So the fact that you gonna come out here and tell that line to us, it's like, now granted, this is one of them people who met me in the 90s. So my other cats, they got here in the 2000s. So they got like 2010 or whatnot. So this cat done made his career or whatnot. And so there's a lot of stuff that he was doing that I never saw. Because I'm not in his mix like that, but these cats were working with him. And he was doing all kind of racist, making all kind of racist comments to these people. And what he did with that day, the Tar Baby comment, when the George Floyd thing kicked off, do y'all remember there being a female that did a video talking really, really, really greasy about George Floyd? It was a white girl sitting in the house, and she was talking greasy about how he's a drug dealer, blah, 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 and he was a drug user. Well, guess whose girlfriend that just so happened to be? Add to that, he shared the same sentiment as she did on Facebook. And it was a homie from Seattle that said, yo, that's his woman. Word. So I had to get in his ass, because a lot of people were afraid to kind of tackle him because they felt his name was so big. Not to me. So, I roasted him right in front of everybody and made him apologize to the black folks to whom he offended. This is the type of attitude that people got to have out here. So when people get out here and start talking this clout chasing crap, no, because y'all ain't nowhere near in this lane as I've ever been. So I don't know what you're smoking. But you ain't no revolutionary. You're not no militant. And so all of this, I could just say black, black, black. It doesn't matter how many times you can say black if you don't understand the functionality of the system. That's what we do here. We teach it. We break down systematic white supremacy. We break down white supremacy because like Mr. Turn His Mask Black, like he said, I live in the Iceman land. Yeah, I live where a lot of white people are. See, the things that come out of my mouth don't come out of theirs. I don't speak in code. Because the truth is the truth. But when you're a liar, you have to speak in code. And most of the time, you got to hide your face. Anyway. Y'all don't want me. And I don't have to. See, that's the whole point. A person didn't even get a chance to get, there's no hashtag of this person, so they I don't get no attention. Not even a hashtag making fun of me. I mean, I could at least do something with that. No. Some people be so thirsty. You know how when you used to watch the cartoons and the people be dying of thirst in the desert and the vultures be flying over them? Twitter got folks toe up, man. Ooh-wee. Hey, man, if you see a viral video, it goes viral because it has content or it resonates with people or something. You can't retweet your way into militancy. You got to have insight. That's all I said today. So somebody's really, really hurt because I said, no, vet their insight. And now she's calling me a clout chaser because all I said was vet her insight. Ooh. Must be rough. Ain't nobody want to come out here and debate. Boy, if Twitter Spaces go away tomorrow, so a lot of y'all in trouble. A lot of y'all in trouble. You're going to go right back to nobody giving a damn about what you're talking about. Or, well, hey, man, maybe you can start a party line. Remember that, bring them back. Y'all better leave me alone, man. So check this out. Before we go any further, Cheetah P, Mr. Cheetah P, this one's for you. And I'm going to need y'all who follow this. I don't even know why y'all was dealing with this dude. Y'all didn't know this dude wasn't cool? Because some of y'all out there is actually messing with this dude. Y'all follow this man. And I mean, trust me, I understand how people infiltrate their way in. I've watched it happen. 2 times I can speak of right now, recent. But this situation right here is this African woman explaining the relationship between the Africans, the African immigrants that we supposedly be hating on, and you know, we're so upset and blah blah blah, all of this, right? Oh well, yeah, he didn't. No, that there was a space that brother Jason Black had, and this Cloud Chaser was in there, and unfortunately, these people, when you know you have FBA in your titles. Now, we all heard his name called clear as day. Now, maybe she was so busy because she was in between 2 different spaces at one time that she thought just because she heard, oh okay, well, that must mean me. No. But also knowing her, it's like, well, maybe that's just what a person like that does. Because, you know, anytime that, well, here's the opportunity to be seen and listen to me. How about you do it on your platform? You have a YouTube channel. Make your YouTube channel pop. Anybody? I got a YouTube channel. Your guy with the 27 followers said I can't get up to 1,000. Well, if he can get to 300, anything's possible, I guess. Hey man, there's a lot of people out here falling for sock dancers, man. And y'all finna fall for that real estate scheme, getting taking investment tips at the bando, man. I don't know what the hell going on around them parts, but boy, oh boy, for the people who following that, man, I got to question your judgment. Anyway, here we go.
Suspicion of Black immigrants is the belief that they are competing for jobs and other opportunities and resources with them. As the scholar John Bracey observed of the Harlem incident, Africans are seen as another immigrant group that is pushing past African Americans. This is particularly true of Black immigrants who some African Americans believe are given preference for employment by white employers. Louis Chude-Sokai points out that, quote, whites have historically tended to regard Black immigrants as a model minority within a troublesome native-born Black population. A good proportion of immigrants tend to be better educated than African Americans, don't have the chip or racial resentment on their shoulder, and exhibit the classic immigrant optimism about assimilation into the mainstream culture, he argues. On the other hand, misconceptions about African Americans persist among Africans as well. The belief perpetuated by the media and other sources that African Americans are not hardworking and frequently fall back on the history of racism to make excuses still persists among some Africans. As Bill Fletcher, president of Trans-Africa Forum, commented, many African Americans are embarrassed or ambivalent about Africa.
And that is not actually, here's the thing. That is a very condescending attitude to have. We're embarrassed about Africa. What would make you say that? See, it almost reminds me of this situation I'm going through right now. When you have people who center themselves in your scope of being, and they really believe that, well, I'm here, so, I mean, I feel like I'm so much better than you. Shouldn't you just praise me? And so, I mean, of course you look up to me. No, the hell we don't. What are you talking about? It's the government. No. I'm sorry. Because I've sat up here and heard too many people come in these spaces talking about it's the government. And it gets so redundant that they try to find ways to stretch out the lie. So it's going to take you 20 minutes to end up right back at it's the government. Yo, time to move forward. We see what they are doing. We know what they're about. If I see a lot of conversations still talking about the whole immigrant thing. Where I'm at with that, there ain't no conversation about immigrants in our reparations, period. Truth be told, I wouldn't even be entertaining the conversation. For what? We already have enough people working against our reparations. What the hell are we doing holding spaces for the world to see, arguing about people who know they don't got shit coming? That's just my take on it. Anyway, let's go back to what she's talking about.
And many Africans have misconceptions about the opportunities available to African Americans. They often fail to appreciate what the African Americans have gone through. African immigrant attempts to maintain a distinct identity from African Americans allows them the hope of protecting their children from racialization in American society. Nonetheless, while African immigrants, in their attempt to cope with the racial hierarchy in the United States, have frequently claimed a foreign status, they find it hard to insulate themselves from white racial stereotypes and discrimination. Africans settling in urban areas are more likely to be closer to African Americans, resulting in some tensions, but also providing the opportunity for the groups to learn about each other, and in some instances to work together in both social and political causes and on an individual level. For some African immigrants who choose or are forced by economic circumstances to settle in areas with significant Black American populations. These immigrants recognize their status as a minority and understand the consequences of ethnicity and race in the United States. African immigrants increasingly recognize the struggles of African Americans in providing the world into which they came. One immigrant remarked, "We feel that those African Americans who were here before were the pioneers. If it wasn't
for those of y'all who see, this is why you don't waste time in these damn spaces, wasting time with these people. They hit up. So what are you talking about? I don't know. And what do you mean? No, immigrants help you know getting damn well. Stop entertaining lying ass conversations with these immigrants because they know they lying. No, they knew. Well, black folks was here. Okay, y'all hearing this? Arguing with these people who coming over here, wasting your time lying. What benefit is that to any of us? No, we about reparations. I don't have to argue with an irrelevant being. We need reparations from the government. What me arguing with an immigrant got to do with any damn thing? It's me.
One immigrant remarked, "We feel that those African Americans who were here before were the pioneers. If it wasn't for Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement, we wouldn't be here in the first place." And as one scholar has noted, Black migrants, unlike light-skinned migrants, also face an entirely different set of issues directly related to fitting in with American society. They must reconstruct and redefine their identity in terms of the American society's system of race relations and hierarchy. This they sometimes find difficult to do. As one immigrant noted, African immigrants sometimes struggle to fit into Black American culture that has been shaped by civil disobedience and peaceful protests. Many hesitate to speak out on race issues because they fear deportation or showing disrespect to their adopted homeland. They have largely not integrated themselves into African American institutions and organizations, often creating separate ethnic hometown or country associations. This reluctance to identify fully with African Americans has sometimes led to tensions between the two groups. For example, at the turn of the 21st century, several incidents highlighted the differences between the two groups. In 2005, an Ivorian street vendor in Harlem, frequently harassed by Black Americans, lashed out in return, resulting in a street brawl. While these incidents are infrequent, they nevertheless point at continued.
You hear how that's set up. So this person attacks Black folks. But she said that when he was repeatedly harassed, and then he attacks and then the brawl breaks out. Cut it out. Cut it out. So you see how she set that little lie up. See, this is what you got to pay attention to these people. They're savvy, you know, and when you're dealing with a liar, especially, you know, when you're dealing with more older, seasoned liars, they do it naturally. It kind of starts coming with ease. You know what I'm saying? So it comes off as believable and intentional. But, you know, it's really not.
Misunderstandings between African Americans and Black immigrants. Stereotypical views and representations of Africa continue to be shown in mainstream media. Negative images and ideas about Africa still persist among African Americans, largely because African American students still are not taught much about Africa, and when exposed to Africans, fall back on old stereotypes of Africa as the dark continent. Society, and one that was more open to foreigners, Africans continued to arrive on its shores in larger numbers, now finding themselves with more options and opportunities. Coming from newly independent African nations, many saw little need to settle among Black Americans. As the number and composition of African immigrants has grown, so have the perceptions that they, like other immigrants, are different from African Americans. While during the era of segregation, Black immigrants were often forced to live alongside Black Americans, the new liberal and relatively tolerable post-civil rights America has given more recent immigrants the opportunity to live apart from and distance themselves from African American populations. These Black immigrants are no longer settling in traditional gateway cities like New York or Miami, but more and more are attracted to suburban areas, or as in the case of Somalis in Maine, to rural areas. Despite the racial stereotypes, some Black immigrants prefer settling among mixed or largely white populations, believing that assimilating with African Americans would hinder their socioeconomic advancement. African immigrants also fear the loss of ethnic identity, and they highlight their distinctive heritage. As immigrants, they have sometimes lacked an understanding of and do not identify with post-slavery issues affecting native-born American Blacks. As one young African immigrant interviewed for an Arizona News article stated, "I don't associate myself with slavery." The article notes that these new...
Well, see, that's what reparations is about. It's about repairing the damage done. So while you guys keep hopping into deep... So I'm just saying this for information's sake. You guys can keep going back and forth with these people like they're ignorant, but they are not. So what you're doing is wasting time arguing with these people about something they know they have no part of. What you need to know is, why are they wasting your time? Well, let's look at it this way. These same Africans look to go to Ukraine versus come to America and fool with us. So as things started opening up around the globe, they never wanted to be around us. We were just an advantage. You know, if somebody was looking at the Bible in this type of situation, kind of like the children of Israel hiding out in Egypt. That's one thing that nobody ever really thinks about. It's like, you know, those ancient people were already there. So by the time the books were written, those people had already lived in Egypt all of this time. So if you're looking at a time frame, you got to remember these people were literally living. It's just that when Moses came along, he wrote the book of the history. People always seem to forget that. But anyway, that's another class. When you're a big Hebrew, you should be able to teach things like that.
New African Americans lack ties to American slavery and the inner city culture frequently associated with Black America. Many grew up in middle-class, two-parent families and have access to social networks that include doctors, nurses, engineers, professors, and business executives.
Ma'am, all of that existed before you came to this country, before they allowed you to come to this country. All of that existed here in black neighborhoods. If you want to know where those were, what freeway do you use? So don't come over here talking this jive like we owe you something. Man, y'all don't have any idea of our history. Have no business being on TV or anything talking for us. And for those of y'all who keep doing spaces with these people, I got to wonder why. Why are you giving them so much information on your damn history? Anyway, this next part right here is something that y'all need to pay attention to, because again, when it comes down to doing everything for everybody else that's not a foundational Black American, well, we already see how they play it with the people that I just showed you. Those people look like us, correct? Right. So they'll let them come over here, set up shop, play around, and get next to white folks, because that's how they're even perceiving it coming over here. So don't you ever get in no conversation with these people talking about, why are you so divisive? No. You have a long history of your immigration coming over here by way of knowing it was civil rights that got you here, but still not fooling with the people who bled for you. You ungrateful bastards. Hell no. Hold your own nuts. Do not come to us asking us for a dime. Especially when some of you Nigerians are also responsible for having a hand in the slave trade, as well as a few other small countries that got dissolved into bigger countries. See, when you have content, this is the thing that you should be able to say. But I just gave you two different talking points that you ain't heard nobody else's platform. So, moving right along, while I'm clout chasing.
Take a city, but he'll never be able to hold the country. And if we do not respond to Putin's assault on global peace and stability today, the cost of freedom and to the American people will be even greater tomorrow. So we're going to continue to support the brave Ukrainian people as they fight for their country. And I call on Congress to pass the $12 billion Ukraine assistance package that I have asked them for of late. Ukrainian people are demonstrating by their physical courage that they are not about to just let Putin take what he wants. That's clear. They'll defend their freedom, their democracy, their lives.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people.
So, man, and Nicole, no, I won't be saying her name on this broadcast. I never have said her name on this broadcast. I had to say her name on Twitter today because of what she did. So again, what she's talking about is from clout chasing is simply me responding, because after she gets ignored, she gets upset that she gets ignored. And then she'll retweet something of me and be like, hey, look at him. Oh, so you know what the funny thing is okay, Tariq Nasheed had a Twitter space the other day. You know how you have the share button within Twitter spaces and say, okay, you're in Twitter space, hit share, right? Well, all I did was shared it on my Twitter. We in the space. She retweeted that, talking about clout chase much. My timeline is filled with people sharing the space that they're in. As soon as I go onto Twitter every day. Somehow, I guess me tweeting the space that I was in, although because I'm very rarely in spaces, somehow it became a clout chase when my whole timeline is flooded with shared spaces. But I mean, if you see it, that's what this person is talking about. You said you want to find out who she is, just look for the one who's throwing my name around. She won't be hard to find. You know, she'll be in spaces fronting. But see, that's the whole thing. Like, she wants that attention. She wants to get her name mentioned. And nah. You have to earn it, baby. And, you know, shoot, let people do it. But I mean, again, like I said, there's lanes for everybody. And, you know, when you want to be TMZ, you can do that. Shoot, there is spaces for everyone. Or, like I said, you know, I mean, because there are people who used to be in this chat that I don't see anymore because they're so busy over there. And that's all right. That is quite all right. I do not have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that at all. Because what y'all need to understand is when somebody don't want to be kept, you don't keep them. I don't need nothing fake around me. Because, see, that's the one thing that even the sock dancer know for a fact. And anybody that deal with me, you know, that's the last thing that label you can put on me is fake. I mean, hell, one of the reasons why he was going off talking about I'm a royal in exile is because I had to cuss his ass out. And I didn't do it. You know, he was on my phone. So let's keep it a buck. Now, I don't do things that way. I do things the grown man way because I'm mature. I'm grown. I'm not petty. I can be petty Vandross when I need to. And right now, it's not really the time. We have serious issues going on, and y'all want to focus on beefing with each other over people who don't give a damn about what you're doing. That's just saying to me, like, man, give me some attention, please. Give me some attention, man. It seems to me like you doing just fine on your own with all of these beefs that you have had. Since I've done my roast, there is about 5 or 6 people that this one individual who I had to roast done got into it with. Who's the problem? All that back and forth beefing on people's walls, Twitter banging. Nigga, I ain't doing none of that. Anyway, back to the news.
Currency exchange as the ruble's value keeps plummeting. Many residents here in St. Petersburg expressed pessimism about the direction of the Russian economy.
Все катится к чертям. Других слов нет. Все будет гораздо хуже, и не только с экономической точки зрения. Вот.
For the past several days, Russians have been lining up at banks and ATMs, hoping to withdraw cash while they still can. That's due to devastating international sanctions directed at Russia's financial sector. Moscow's public transportation department is warning residents they might have problems using Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Samsung Pay for their fares because VTB Bank, which is under sanctions, handles those payments. Visa and MasterCard have also blocked multiple Russian banks from their network to comply with sanctions. Economists say all these restrictions are impacting the quality of daily life.
Now, the problem is that Russian public is extremely unhappy with their Master and Visa card not working, Apple Pay not working, not being able to travel abroad.
And the impact of the sanctions could have a knock-on effect on the economies of neighboring countries in Central Asia. Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan rely heavily on labor remittances sent home by migrant workers in Russia. According to the World Bank, remittances account for 30% of Tajikistan's gross domestic product. For Kyrgyzstan, it's 28% and nearly 12% for Uzbekistan. Already, several cross-border payment companies have suspended their money transfer services in Russia, citing the risk of running afoul of sanctions.
Okay, family. So if for those of you who do not understand what you are seeing, that's a dry run. Midnight Green, welcome. It is a dry run to a collapse of the economy. So what we're having is, just like all of these people are going over there to go help these people to fight for democracy. And if we don't get out of here and it's a war in Europe, then it'll fall in democracy and we'll be living in darkness. So that's interesting wording y'all using. Darkness? Interesting choice of words, I must say. So let me see. There is a whole situation going on, that we are going to get into, that America now has formally have to address, because as things are appearing, America has put their hands in the chemical warfare game in Ukraine.
Helping Ukraine is growing by the day, and the Ukrainian government says that more than 16,000 total now foreign fighters have arrived in the country. In just the last few days, we have met several Americans who say they are, too, planning to help Ukrainian forces. In fact, they are over the border as we speak. They told us they could just not sit back and watch. We landed in Warsaw and saw them immediately. 3 Americans headed for Ukraine. Ready to die, they say, in a fight for survival against the Russians. And what's the plan?
The plan to help save the lives of Ukrainian people.
Andriy Penchek is a licensed truck driver who was born in Ukraine, but he launched this particular mission from Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
He's over there to help white folks. Let's keep it a buck. Oh, I'm just over there to help white people.
And while we read in his local paper that he's never been in a battle and used personal savings to pay for his tickets, he told us the hardest part was leaving behind his 3 young children.
I didn't say goodbye. I said, see you.
You said see you later.
Yeah.
While U.S. soldiers are staying out of Ukraine, everyday Americans like this are not specifically restricted from going in, says acting U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Christina Kaveen. What does the American government say to Americans who are volunteering for combat in Ukraine?
We encourage all Americans not to travel to Ukraine right now, and those Americans who are in Ukraine to leave Ukraine because it is not safe.
Closer to the border, however, we caught up with bipartisan leaders of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Gregory Meeks and Michael.
This is why I played this. They did all of this to get right here to this dude who looked like he on his way to Sunday service. He out there, I'm like, are y'all serious? He looked like he on his way to a funeral or the church.
McCall, who had just seen the war's human toll up close. How do each of you feel about our fellow countrymen joining the fight there?
I think that what they see and what people around the world are seeing is democracy's at stake. And as President Zelensky said to us, this is not just a fight for Ukrainian people. This is a fight for all of us. It's just
family. When have they ever sent a black man for a foreign affair? And this he ain't even over there to see about the black folks over there. So you understand why he's there, right? He's there. Okay, black folks. See, he's over there co-signing it. It must be all right.
starting here.
Ukrainians have inspired the world, and these freedom fighters, I call them.
Все направляемые Западом в помощь.
But on Thursday, Russia's military warned foreign fighters they'd be treated as mercenaries, not as protected combatants under international law.
As far as I see, civilians are not protected by humanitarian law, so I don't take much credence to anything they say.
We spotted Christopher Callis in full body armor walking toward the checkpoint into Ukraine. Before the war, this trained pastry chef with no military experience had been splitting his time between the New York culinary scene and Ukraine. But after evacuating his Ukrainian wife and baby to safety in Portugal, he decided to go back. Not to fight, he says, but to help others.
So you're Ukrainian by marriage, but on paper you're an American about to enter Ukraine
That's
to
correct.
join the war effort.
Yes.
Are you worried?
I am absolutely worried, yes. But I'm more worried for the people there who are not able to leave.
Is this something you're prepared to die for?
Yes. I want my child to have a Ukraine to go back to when she's grown up.
So we lost contact with Chris for a couple of days, but we did hear from him this morning. No pictures, but he said he is in, quote, deep. As for Andries, his group, we did get a picture from them. They are over the border. Take a look at it there. There's a sign with Ukraine on it. And we also noticed there on their car, they brought the American flag with them, still representing.
Well, of course, because that is the it is the flag of whiteness. You understand? So when you have the flag of whiteness, whether it's the American flag, the Polish flag, or the Ukrainian flag, or the Nazi flag, or the Confederate flag, it all represents the same thing. We're all white. So we have to get into something here. Let me see. Let me get to the first video. Where is it at? Bear with me, folks. And while I'm doing this, please hit the like button. This is one I want to play. Okay. So here's one I wanted to play. So let's check this out.
رمضان يا رمضان يا رمضان شهر الكتاب تلاوة وقيام رمضان يا رمضان يا رمضان شهر.
Black people being prevented from boarding a train and left stranded at a railway station in Lviv as Ukrainians were allowed on. Others said they were turned back from the border and were even being shot at. Like this video, Indian students claim Ukrainian guards on the Polish border beat them up and didn't allow them to cross. Tens of thousands of international students have been stuck in Ukraine since the war
The head of
started.
the Polish border guard saying 15,000 people were coming into Poland in just the last 24 hours. When you look at what happened in the last refugee crisis in Europe back in 2015, Poland was one of the EU countries that, was hesitant to take in refugees. Talk about what has changed and the different position now.
Yeah, well, just to put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. I mean, that, quite frankly, is part of it. These are Christians, they're white, they're very similar to many people who live in Poland, and they're also there are a lot of Ukrainians who live in Poland. These are countries that a lot of people travel back and forth. They maybe work in Poland or neighboring countries. They go back to Ukraine. They leave their families in Ukraine and send money back. So there is that connection as well as the cultural and racial connection. But there is a really, really stark difference this time, Hallie, and the Interior Minister saying yesterday, I believe, that anyone from Ukraine who comes to this border will be allowed in and will be allowed to apply for asylum.
Kelly Kobiaya live for us there in Poland. Kelly, thank you so
It's very emotional for me because I see
European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with Putin's missiles and his helicopters and his rockets.
And so, of course, I understand and respect the emotion. What you are outlining there is this tension between longer-term efforts to apply pressure to Vladimir Putin, such as financial sanctions, and the very immediate military threat which you're experiencing.
Now with the Russians marching in, it's changed the calculus entirely. Tens of thousands of people have tried to flee the city. There will be many more. People are hiding out in bomb shelters. But this isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen conflict raging for decades. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen. So it's partly human nature, but they are not in denial.
Population.
Now, check that out. They're not in denial. Okay, let me get this video, this other one in here, because I'm going to play this for you. And they are completely in denial. Well, I don't know, really. You can't really call certain things you see denial. Let's see, where is it at? Yeah. This is just flat out lying.
Die Ziele bei weitem nicht. Sie erreichen auch nicht auf österreichischer Ebene. Auch wenn man in Betracht zieht, dass im Bundesrat beschlossen wurde, dass sowohl das Erneuerbare Ausbaugesetz kommt, als auch die ökosoziale Steuerreform. Noch ganz kurz zur Erklärung. Das Erneuerbare Ausbaugesetz, das soll die Klimaneutralität Österreich bis ins Jahr 2030.
And there's English translations of that same broadcast somewhere too. But that's just, it's what it is. They're over there faking the funk. Faking the funk. So let's go a little deeper. This is about to get real interesting, folks. Check this out.
You said that all of those people are Ukrainians. And the shelling is also conducted by Ukrainians?
Definitely. This is something really important, and somehow it's being ignored. Residents of the Donbass began to be targeted by their own government in 2014. Russian-speaking citizens fell victim to shelling by Kiev government.
Do you smell panic? Panic mode. And the rest of them, Soros, Obamas, Clintons, Bidens, the list as long as my arm. Panic, panic, panic. Boom.
Well, some people, and that is not my video. That's just one of those theoretical type of things out there. So let's see what we got here. But just something to think about. And then when you look at this, let's see what people have to say. So this is a video prior to the invasion over there. And this is one of the things that you're not going to hear about in the Western media, because they want to make sure that you just do what they tell you to do and support who they want you to support. And, you know, of course, that has not worked out well for us as Black folks, foundational Black Americans, ever. So with that being said, listen very carefully to what's going on prior to this invasion. And so just keep in mind when you're hearing this stuff, it's before the invasion.
Investigation into claims of alleged mass graves of civilians supposedly killed by Ukrainian forces. But according to our reporters there on the ground, these claims are almost certainly false and appear to be a part of a broader false narrative to justify an invasion. Foreign correspondent James Longman joining me now from Moscow with more. So what can you tell us about these new claims, James? And is this the false flag that U.S. intelligence warned Russia might try to use as an excuse to invade Ukraine?
Well, Kira, that's certainly what everyone is saying. It's very difficult to know, of course, and that's what Russia is banking on. This all goes back to last week when one of the leaders of one of these separatist groups in eastern Ukraine went on state television here, held a press conference, and said that they had discovered mass graves, 130 mass graves, including women. These are Russian speakers who'd been killed by Ukrainian forces there, and he was appealing to Moscow to start an investigation. And this is all part of a narrative, actually, that it's not new. I mean, this is something that's been going on for a long time. It's the main reason why Russia keeps going on about these parts of eastern Ukraine, because they always talk about a genocide, quote unquote, that's going on against Russian speakers there. We heard Vladimir Putin himself using that word just the other day in a press conference. What I would say, though, is it's difficult to believe because these are in areas which have been in Russian-backed rebel control for the last 7 years. So it would seem strange that they have only just discovered them. Nevertheless, there is an investigation being opened into possible war crimes. This Russian investigative committee investigates serious crimes in the country. So it's just part of this pattern we've been hearing over the last few days and weeks and months and years that these groups in Ukraine are responsible for genocide. It doesn't mean that Russia is about to invade, but it just kind of lays the groundwork, possibly, as you say, for one of these false flag pieces of news which flashes up before us and warns the Russian people that their people are being killed in Ukraine and that Russia must act. But
here's the one interesting thing about that. He's not talking about one of the main groups that Putin is targeting, which is the neo-Nazis in Ukraine. So listen to all of this talk around the truth. So if you believe that these people are telling you what's really going on in America, you are out of your mind. This right here and what you're seeing is warfare. This is to prepare you with a certain lack of respect of life for the Russian people. Because what's happening right now, by all the stuff they're doing right now, they're trying to create a humanitarian crisis in Russia. They're sinking the ruble. So what are you seeing? That's economic warfare for a country that is not even involved into anything that they're doing. We don't have nothing at stake here. But see, what's at stake is global white supremacy. That's why America's concerned.
as ever with this conflict, it's just so hard to know the truth. Kira?
That is well said indeed. Meanwhile, what we do know that NATO is deploying more forces in Eastern Europe, James, as the Secretary General says there are no signs of de-escalation right now, but it's not too late to step back from the brink. How's Russia responding?
Well, yeah, this is Jens Stoltenberg speaking today at the NATO defense minister meeting. What he did say, actually, was that it was really important for NATO to strengthen their eastern flank. This is precisely the opposite of what Vladimir Putin wanted. So if we're talking about whether or not Russia has won anything yet, this is probably not what he wanted. He wants a weakened NATO, wants a divided NATO, but it seems to have got the opposite from these quote-unquote military exercises down on Ukraine's border. We have had, though, as you say, a response from Russia. This is in a sort of typical tone that the the spokeswoman for the foreign ministry often takes. She likes a zinger. Her name is Maria Zakharova, and she said, frankly, I can tell you the truth. We're not interested in these statements made by Stoltenberg, who's either NATO Secretary General or a banker. I haven't figured out which yet. We're no longer interested in them. She'd said that because he's also been appointed the next chairman of Norway's central bank. Of course, this is not a laughing matter for the people of Ukraine, but she likes to take this tone. This is just part of Russia's strategy. Debunk, discredit, joke, laugh at. We've seen it not just from her, but from Lavrov and from other members of the Russian government. It's just more of the same. Kira?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about that? You're hearing, and Capricorn says, this is psychological warfare. You hit the nail on the head. But it's also damage control. Kind of like somebody putting my name in their space. But it's damage control. You understand? For what a person can drop, the information, when people know they got information that can be dropped, and you keep poking the bear, then, you know, sometimes that information might leak, and the truth is out. So what they're doing right now is getting in front of something. Well, what do you think they might be getting in front of? Because, see, right now we're talking about how the world is watching and democracy is hanging in the balance, and we are just in the brink of World War III if we don't get down with Whitey. Let's maybe investigate another reason that Russia might want to invade Ukraine. And there's another party here that actually if somebody wanted to react the wrong way, could possibly say this is grounds for the button to be pushed. But let's check it out.
Had data, and we have data that the Pentagon is preoccupied about the chemical and biological installations in Ukraine, because Pentagon built 2 biological war labs, and they have been developing pathogens.
Ain't that what you went to, you tore a rack up for and you burned Syria over? Isn't that what happened? So, okay, so Assad can't have weapons like that. And Iraq can't have weapons like that. But America, knowing they're not supposed to have weapons like that, has 2 facilities in Ukraine, who is not a NATO member, to which they're a part of, so that would make sense. But if you weren't supposed to actually have it, well, then it would make sense on why it would be off-site, a neutral area, so to speak. But just so you know, you don't get confused and your family members don't say I'm lying, let's hear what he said again.
In Ukraine, because Pentagon built 2 biological war labs, and they have been developing pathogens there in Kiev and in Odessa, and now they are concerned that they may lose control over these labs. And you know what it may be like in future, and the Americans decline flatly and resolutely to start a inspection mechanism as part of the Convention for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, and they build new chemical and biological facilities all across Russian borders. And, you know, many other developments happened. The CIA has been on the ground in droves, and they have been training the Ukrainian army not to wage a war with Poland, apparently. And when developments in Iraq happened, when the United States claimed it was a threat to the U.S. national security, did anyone ask back then why the United States decided to bring a territory 10,000 kilometers away from the American coasts to order? Because the US is a great power, but when Russia says that there is a threat to us, they start telling us that there is not a threat at all. But, you know, we will decide what is needed to provide for our security. When it's just close and next to our borders, we will not go 10,000 kilometers away to assert our rules. And
well, he ain't wrong. Basically, he's saying, what the hell is America got doing in our business? You're putting things on a whole nother continent. What are you doing over here in Ukraine? So be clear. And you hear all of this. Oh, man. Oh, you remember when, for those of y'all who follow Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur, the one who told you to get life insurance, she also mentioned about this. I mean, it seems like these chickens is coming home to roost. Because think about it. There's got to be more to it than what American media is talking about. Because all they could do, they went out of their way to lie to us about the black folks that we could literally see being mistreated and tell us, oh, well, you know, no, wait until the state media says something. Wait until the white folks tell us that they mistreating black folks. Are you out your mind? No, ma'am. So we're going to keep this party going because people need to understand the real deal. And this is the truth. They are hiding what is really happening. But they told you about this propaganda situation prior to. And like I said, Queen Ahmadiyya has mentioned something about suspected alleged Biden and Miss Hillary having certain business interests in Ukraine. And there's 2 off-site facilities. Oh, yeah, I also forgot. I think Barack Obama's also tied with that. But hey, man, you know, the greatest president there ever was. Well, being so great has got in a pickle like this. So do not be fooled by Western media until they answer questions like this. And I'm going to play you something from the Western situation. I'm going to play you something from our representative. So when people start, well, this ain't true and all of that, man, please. Oh, no. We're a little bit more thorough over here than that. Check this out.
Materials existing today, the confirmations that were made these days by the Ukrainian side and by the United States of America. There was a statement made by the Deputy Secretary of State, Victoria Nuland, leave no doubt, will not leave an opportunity for Washington to keep silence this time. We remember how many years and also their attempts while spilling blood to find biological and chemical weapons throughout the world, while in fact occupying, killing people. They were looking in the wrong place. We have found instead of you. We have found your own products. We have found your biological material. It was developed primarily for military purposes. As it turns out, it was all happening in Ukraine. What were you doing there? It's a different continent. It has no borders with you. There are no bases of yours. What were they doing there under the guise of scientific research? Your specialist, among others. On a regular basis, they were giving instructions to the Ukrainian side as to the purposes of the studies involved. Now, considering that we have the evidence that cannot be refuted, we demand that you provide details. The world must know what were you intending to do there, to what end, within which deadline, what was the amount of the so-called investments in the biological activities of Ukraine. The data, materials, documents, please provide them. Enough games.
Well, she told y'all now, didn't she? But let's be clear, because somebody might think, well, that's an isolated incident.
Recently, the U.S. biological labs in Ukraine have indeed attracted much attention. According to reports, in these facilities, a large quantity of dangerous viruses are stored. Russia has found during its military operations that the U.S. uses these facilities to conduct military plans. According to data released by the U.S., it has 26 labs in Ukraine. The U.S. has 336 labs in 30 countries under its control. The U.S. has also conducted many biological military activities in Fort Detrick. What is the true intention of the U.S.? What has it done specifically? The international community has long held doubts. Once again, we urge the U.S. to give a full account of its biomilitary activities at home.
Got me again. So I'm about to reset this window, and we finna come back on in. So did anybody see the the Twitter space? Did y'all go partake? I don't know how you call someone a cloud chaser when you're actually using their name in your space. Kind of backwards. Lord. Let's see here. Oh, Jesus. All right. Oops. All right, we back. We back. Back there. All right. Oh, good grief. I don't know why I have to go through that. Now, let me get this video back off up in here. 8 people and 3 other listeners. They still going? I mean, I'm sure somebody got to look at that like, what's this about? Are you okay, sis? Oh, Lord. I mean, goodness, what are you doing? A video? I mean, you're doing a whole space on me being a cloud chaser. And like you expected me on a night to where I'm broadcasting to stop my broadcast to come into your Twitter space to argue with you about nothing. Why don't you return none of my messages?
The U.S. biological labs in Ukraine have indeed attracted much attention. According to reports, in these facilities, a large quantity of dangerous viruses are stored. Russia has found during its military operations that the U.S. uses these facilities to conduct military plans. According to data released by the U.S., it has 26 labs in Ukraine. The U.S. has 336 labs in 30 countries under its control. The U.S. has also conducted many biological military activities in Fort Detrick. What is the true intention of the U.S.? What has it done specifically? The international community has long held doubts. Once again, we urge the U.S. to give a full account of its biomilitary activities at home and abroad and accept multilateral verification.
Did you catch that last part? Let me run that last part back for you because y'all might not have caught that because it says she say it so quick. But yeah, listen to this very last part.
Multilateral verification. And we urge the U.S. to give a full account of its biomilitary activities at home and abroad and accept multilateral verification.
And accept multilateral verification. Okay, that's what I needed to do. Okay. Oh, this woman actually she has tagged D. Tubman. Oh, sis, I just don't know. Poor thing. So, let me read this. Hey, D. Tubman and fam. For some reason, this nobody who says he is the head of black media, which I never have said that. And that would be new black media, actually. Dude wants to lie on me. I do have a burner. Look it up. Jealousy is in all of this. Oh, God. The craters in your face. I'm 50 years old, and you look older than me. Craters in my face. Nah, that's new, but okay. You know, that's funny. I guess from all the other emails that you have sent crying and whining to Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur. No, I've never said I was ahead of the black media. But, you know, to correct the thing, it would be new black media. And no, I never said I was ahead of it. I'm definitely a part and a very much instrumental voice of this whole entity, because that's why you're even in a space to speak. So there is that. And you know what's so funny is all I had to say, vet a person's insight. That's all I had to say. Yeah, I got a burner, but you know, I know he live right now, so here, let me tweet him. So for those of you who want to go find out who this person is, you can go to my Twitter and go find out. That's how upset this person is. And see, again, what they do is they do stuff like this. So they'll do all this little, and now you can see she just flat out lying. Man, no one will ever have to lie on a liar. They will do it for themselves. Because, I mean, what are you talking about, lady? And out of all people, you're literally tagging D. Tubman in it. Okay. Good going. Damn. You do realize she moderates for quite a few different people. And because you're a newbie, meaning your network is around a bunch of newbies. I don't know why you're going after people who have been here this long in this space. And okay, now I can see. I'm like, why do I keep getting notifications of this net from the FBA group? But now I see. Okay, you're obviously hurt, and I don't care. I do not care. I mean, your name ain't never came out my mouth on my show. I could just go ahead and show everybody, hey, this is how much you're in my inbox. I'm not giving you any attention. And then I could go back down to the whole story about your whole plot on scheming on Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur to get close to her just so you could build your own profile and then find something to throw dirt on her about, like how you went and found her her government born name and all that mess and FBI stuff that you did to go there. And then you sent her that information, correct? So you going through all of this to go find people's, that's actually cyber stalking. So while you're in the midst of committing your criminal act in front of the world, no one has to tell on you because you're literally doing it in front of the world. Is there something that I have said about you that you have lost anything or has caused you harm? No. So all you can do is whine and complain and, oh, woe is me. Determined, look at me. I don't know why. Hey, friend, look at this. It seems, and see, here's the thing. Man, you can always trust a messy individual. They will always overshoot themselves. So she's not telling you what my response was because I told her she overshot it. And now she knows she does. So see, here's the thing with this again is damage control. That's so funny. I literally didn't I just say it before I looked at this message? I literally said damage control. That's what that video do. That's what that dude was doing. They getting in front of the story. So just in case, if you drop the information like these people just did about knowing about these chemical weapons that America got over in Ukraine, and that's really what this war is about, while you went and spilled blood all over the world and caused all of this turmoil. Man, look here. Anybody that can see Judas and this woman here, all of this Twitter banging is involving them. I've been around for a minute. You ain't seen me involved in nothing. Y'all been around a hot second and can't stay out of shit. Proof is in the pudding, and that's where the rubber meets the road. Again, so it wasn't enough that nobody gave a damn to come to your space to I guess, get a rah-rah crowd of whiners to talk about someone to whom they don't know. I mean, you talk about clout chasing. Family. This is the epitome of clout chasing. So she literally tweets me. There's no comments on here. And let's see. Oh, well, she liked her own tweet. Looks like Hezzy liked the tweet. And somebody from Seattle who has also appeared on some of my stuff. So, yeah, it's usually the newcomers that's problematic. And, like I said, when a person has FBA in their name, what was their name before that? Because since, Foundational Black American, if you're now coming in this space calling myself FBA, do you know how young you are in this space? Do you realize how young you are in this space? Do you even know? Do you even know? I mean, golly, these cornball weirdos, man. This is crazy. Jackie, Natty, tell the truth and shame the devil. Biden don't care about poor white folk too. No, he doesn't. But that's not his job to care. He works for the elites. He don't give a damn about no poor white folk. Poor white folks ain't nothing but pawns. They're pawns and they're useful tools to, number one, keep us busy from rising up, because we got so many of our own people that want to get so close up under them. Now, if you're just now tuning into this broadcast, earlier I talked about and played this African woman who was literally talking about how much they wanted to be up under them people. And they had to come live next to black folks because white folks wasn't fooling with them like that. So, yeah. So in the midst of, it's so funny. The tweet just speaks for its damn self. This is just hilarious. Oh, you look older than me. Well, one thing I can say is I've been married for over 20 years. How long have you been single? Ouch. Okay, so here's the lady who they were talking about in the midst of the American ambassador. Here she is speaking. I won't dig too hard on this woman's head.
Sanctions announced today by the president. Inside Russia, the economic shockwaves continue. The central bank has now set a limit on withdrawals of dollars from banks. The limit is now $10,000, with the rest paid out in increasingly worthless rubles. To discuss the Russian war, the American and allied response, both in aid and sanctions.
Did you notice that? Worthless rubles? So why are you giving a dollar amount, or you're putting a value on someone else's currency like a bank? She's calling it like, oh yeah, no, worthless. Propaganda. Like this sister who just tweeted D. Tubman.
Spoke just moments ago with Victoria Nuland. She is the Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, the department's fourth-ranking official. Undersecretary Nuland, thank you very much for joining us. I first want to ask you about the news this afternoon that Poland will be supplying MiG-29 fighter jets to Ukraine. They're going to be doing it through Germany. I know you said that the U.S. was not informed ahead of time, but what is known about where these planes are going to be used? What's their mission?
Well, Judy, I have to tell you that I've been with Senate friends for the last couple of hours, so I'm not fully informed beyond the Polish press release. We have been saying that obviously these planes belong to Poland, and it's their sovereign right to do with them as they will, and the Ukrainians have been asking for them.
Do you believe they can be in position soon enough to make a difference in this war?
I don't know what the arrangements are to figure this out. I would note that the Ukrainian Air Force has actually not been flying very much, and nor has the Russian Air Force. They're both afraid of surface-to-air missiles, and what has been most effective in this fight have been these surface-to-air systems that the United States and many of our allies and partners have been getting into Ukraine at high volumes to protect them against not only Russian aircraft, but also Russian tanks and other systems.
So would you say the fears that we're hearing from all quarters, about where these planes are, how vulnerable they would be to being shot down, your belief is that may be overwrought, overdone?
Look, Judy, only the Ukrainians can decide how best to fight this war. It is what we are trying to do is to give them the means that they need to defend themselves, and they have been fighting incredibly bravely. I think if you had asked anybody a month ago whether they would have been able to hold out as well and as strongly and flank the mighty Russian army the way they have and slow them down and sludge them up, nobody would have believed it. So that's a testament to them, but also to the support they've been getting.
Well, President Zelensky, as you know, has been speaking to the public every day. We've been listening to him. He is asking, as you know, for more support, including more surface-to-air missiles. He's also asking for a no-fly zone. And there are a number of former U.S. ambassadors to Europe who are saying that there's a way to do that in a limited manner. Is the U.S. even considering something like that?
Judy, we do not believe it is possible to put U.S. or NATO airplanes over the skies of Ukraine now without coming into direct contact with the Russian military and making this a NATO-Russia or a U.S.-Russia fight, and thereby broadening this war, which we don't want to do. In addition to that, there are serious Russian air defenses over Ukraine. So I think that is not the right way to go. But as I said, these surface-to-air systems that we have been helping the Ukrainians get have been highly, highly effective at the threat that they are facing.
So you're saying that even a limited form of no-fly zone is not in any way on the table?
Not unless we want to end up in a fight between the United States and Russia, which the American people don't want and which President Biden doesn't want either, and which does not help Ukraine to widen this war. We need to end this war.
I just listened to you testify before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and there were a number of points when you spoke about additional aid the U.S. is talking to Ukraine about providing. Can you shed light for the American people on what that might be?
I think we can continue to provide air defense systems. I think we can provide increasingly advanced air defense systems. We're obviously providing plenty of ammunition and other things, but in general, we don't talk in specifics about these things publicly because it doesn't help the cause. The Ukrainians need a degree of strategic secrecy in the way they're going to beat this Russian military, and they've been successful so far.
President Biden did announce today that the United States will no longer purchase Russian oil. There's a complete ban now from the U.S.
You know, I'm going to cut that off right there because we're talking about a ban. So I wanted you to hear how comfortable she's talking right there. So that's the same woman who I'm about to play now, who she's the one who is always aware that these bioweapon plants were sitting over in Ukraine. So the Ukrainian government and the United States government have been working together with these bioweapons labs in Ukraine. So for all intents and purposes, with no military installation of America in Ukraine, you're setting up close. And no one knows. And then so they find this out on the invasion. Seems to me like this is why you had neo-Nazis protecting it. So let's rewind with Congress relieving the ban against funding neo-Nazi groups. Why would they do that? Because they knew they needed to fund neo-Nazi groups. Why? Because they already clearly have a relationship with these neo-Nazis of Ukraine. So here's this woman now who is just speaking so fluently. Well, here's the same woman pulling a Katanji.
We have a minute left. Let me ask you, does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
No, ma'am. That's classic white supremacist technique. Oh. Oh my goodness. Lord. I don't know why people try. So anyway, now with that being said, we still gonna have a lot of these black bisexuals out here talking about, hey man, now come on. I mean, now this is still not that bad. No, it is. This is chemical warfare. We sent people to war to go find chemical wars and shed all of this blood that never existed. All the time, this country who spilled all of this blood is sitting there right next to Russia and Ukraine with 2 bioweapon facilities. And because the Ukrainians ended up being butt naked with Putin's move, now they have to sit up there and save face to cover this debacle. Because truth be told, this is grounds for war. How was it not? When you already had a peace accord. So don't let these people dupe you and just talk, well, we need to be. No, there ain't nothing that you need to bite on about this at all. You understand me? Because what we are getting here is you are getting fed a salad bowl of lies. Stew. You're getting that winter stew of lies right here. Because these people, man, they'll do anything. And Joe Biden doesn't. He's so, like the video I played last night on my podcast, where he's basically talking about how black folks are so limited in South Chicago that, you know, a lot of those people wouldn't know how to use a cell phone and pick up a phone and use it. Because, you know, black people in Southside Chicago have never seen a phone before. And I don't see how y'all can even call yourselves justifying supporting any of these Democrats right now, because now you know Democrat down ballot talk comes straight from Hillary Clinton. I played this right here on my broadcast before. So, you know, be clear. But also, though, just for sake of argument, check this out.
2 of them look like they really could and did play ball, and the other one looks like he could bomb you. The 3 congressmen you have here, 2 of them look like they really could and did play ball, and the other one looks like he could bomb you.
But man, Trump's an open racist. If you don't think Joe Biden is an open racist, then I guess clearly you don't know what an open racist is. And you have only ingested racism as what they told you to identify it as. And if that's the case, you know, I can get why you would still be trying to make excuses for that dude. But I mean, yo, one more time, man, just.
The 3 congressmen you have here, 2 of them look like they really could and did play ball, and the other one looks like he could bomb you.
No, nothing racist about that at all. You know, because if we didn't vote for him, then we ain't black. I guess I ain't black then. Oh, let me not say that. That'll be on Twitter tomorrow. You know what he said? He said he ain't black. Tariq, y'all see what he said? He said he wasn't black. You know how clout chasey that looks to be tagging people? Hey, look at this. Look at this guy here, y'all. I know you deal with him, but you know, I mean, he said this. So then you actually tag her in a lie. Damn. How you tag somebody in a lie? I got burner accounts. I mean, so then you start telling on yourself in the process of telling the truth. No wonder y'all so tight. Oh my Lord. Oh man. Something in the water with y'all does not compute. Oh man. Oh, birds of a feather flock together, fam. That's all I can tell you, man. And one, well, for one, both for cloud chasing. I can say one that I don't know. I'll tell you like this. Sir, if you would ever want to debate me, you have to show your face. All of this has to be visible. Now, if you're willing to step in that arena, Judas, let me know. But we ain't talking through no masks. No, sir. You got to show all of this. Because, see, if she's going to make a comment about how I look, well, then, my brother, you're going to have to pull that mask down and show that that you got going on in your mouth. So this is what I'm saying. When you want to come for me, you better be ready. But notice I didn't come for you because you're irrelevant. I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok, so a bunch of TikTok dancing and look at me, all of that stuff I'm not really into. So it doesn't really move me. I guess, and again, she could see the only thing that gets me to respond is by using my name. Just like how he was using my hashtags. So, well, he said he was say what I actually said. So when you say I invented hashtags and I say I said that, oh, you can quote me on that. But so don't go out there and misquote me. Well, he said he was the leader. First off, the code is the leader. You damn rat. There it is. See, somebody trying to put a finger on somebody, say, he's a leader. He said he was. Nothing like that. It comes out of my mouth because, number one, I don't talk like that because I know what I create. So when I create what I create, then, yes. Can you dig it? So with that being said, we are looking at a global struggle of these people trying to keep white supremacy afloat. And we really don't have a lot of time to be doing a whole bunch of infighting like some people want to do, which I don't really understand none of that, but, it is what it is. Because some people are just stuck in that negative space. And I would say any grown man that would call another person at 3 a.m, calling, screaming on their phone because they won't answer the phone. Well, clearly some emotional situations are going on. And then you have somebody like this who would literally tag me in something. And what's so weird is, see, here's the problem. When you do stuff like this with people with real track records, one of my track records is I'm extremely honest. I don't have no reputation of lying. And I think anybody that talks to me would understand why I don't have no reputation of lying. I don't pull my words. I don't hold words. I don't mix words. I speak very plainly and legibly. You know, I use my proper broadcasting voice on these channels. But, you know, I can do what's necessary off camera. So with that being said, you know, people have had that experience. And I guess maybe that's why I'm not really dealing with the other one right now. This is the one who, and mind you, all of this time has been hiding in the shadows. I knew this because I know both of your burner accounts. So I knew that he never actually cut you loose. All of this time that he's been going back and forth talking about how you wasn't dealing with each other and all of that. That is how us Geminis are. And he said he had a problem. Oh, that's why I don't get along with Geminis. Right, because we see a rat coming. And see, just imagine, I would allow this person to be a moderator on my broadcast. Man, I'd have all kind of unnecessary shit going on. I don't need that. And right now, I got my name out here by this nut, who just, I mean, she ain't getting enough attention, so she's going so hard because, again, it's damage control. And for some reason, I think she is really, truly under the influence of all the problems that she has caused, her and him have caused themselves, and all of these beefs that they're having in these Twitter spaces. They're trying to really put that on someone else, like somebody sent somebody to him. No. First off, everything that you have sent me, matter of fact, well, I can do this much for you. You know, all the clout chasing and all. Let me do this for you. So, let me do this. Let me unplug that. Okay, so somebody already actually said that. But you see how this means this message was never accepted? See that one? Here's another one. Here's another one. Oh, boy. Yeah, things get a little rough when you try a cat like me. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know, because, I mean, you know, for clout chasers, I guess, you know, I understand what clout chasers are. Now, for those of y'all who know how Instagram works, this is from January 16th at 8:24 in the morning. Can you see that? Thank you so much, B1 family. And as you see, I got an alert because I really actually do this. So yes, take a good look at that. She's been love your content. I've been watching. But let's look at the bottom here. Let's be clear. Not accepted though, because see, we do not communicate. So I just want people to understand when I say we don't have no relationship, we have no relationship. Then the next one, February 12th, 7 in the morning. Now this is something that doesn't this look like a threat? I will be sending in everything that's slandering my name. I don't want you to tell that McEllen. Now, here's the thing. She says she don't mess with me and immediately talks about someone else. Man, you have to deal with whoever you have issues with. If your issue isn't with me, stay the hell away from me. I am not part of your problem. I keep saying this 1,000 times. I don't have anything to do with your damn issues. Will you leave me the hell alone? Sorry. And by the way, you do know I'm married, so I don't care about what you're feeling, okay? I just need you to leave me alone and stop trying to get attention off my name. Both of y'all terrible at that. Just trying to get, look at me. Oh, God. Look here. Somebody could have, I guess you probably expected somebody would go in there. You sound like her, it sounds like her mind might be mad. See, my thing about it is, I gotta wonder, why is everybody up in these spaces with her? Y'all really listening to this nut? All right. I mean, now, this is just, I just showed you a couple messages that, see, you see the one? Okay, well, you ignored me. Now I'm flipping on you. I'm gonna tell you this, talking to me in my inbox about something I ain't got nothing to do with. You know what that is? That's trying to rope me into mess. The same thing that Judas Outlaw did the very next day after I told him I got to cut you loose from my little space here because you got too much mess going on. And for what you did, calling another man at 3 o'clock in the morning, cussing him out, and then also making disparaging remarks about a handicapped woman, like it's cool to make jokes about women in wheelchairs. I don't know what's wrong with you and who raised you, but we don't do that where I'm from, partner. So no, I don't have no respect for that. And no, you can't hang out with me doing that. Because I have honor and I have integrity. And if you ain't gonna hold up to that standard, you got to sit over there. See, that's how I'm operating mine as a man. Most of y'all have never even been in that kind of conversation with people. Tell me about I'm clout chasing. Get your ass out of here. Anyway, this being my point. We are building something here. All of this is nothing but distraction. My point being, all of these distraction conversations are being executed by who? Who are these people who are executing these conversations? Because guess who's not? New Black Media is not in the spaces. Except for Tariq, Professor Black Truth, who does his, and Afro Elite, and Desmond Works. So you guys want to go splinter off and start doing your own thing and all of this? Be clear. The whole reason for your black news is because you knew you were put out the mix, and you knew why you were put out the mix a long time ago. When you were trying to, your whole Tasha K plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a whole bunch of followers. Look how it worked out for her in the long run. Keep that in mind there, godless. Because you're coming for a godly individual here. And you're coming with one with a long-standing reputation. So when I hear these little whispers in the wind, that don't make no difference to me because y'all not no revolutionary. Y'all ain't got no stripes on your arm. None of you do. So you little weak, moronic, I think you can be one. Look here. Put a hole in one of them old face, baby. Then you can step up to the big table and talk to the bosses. But until you got that on your jacket, shut up. Don't ever try a boss because you don't wear those stripes. I do. Sat down for my time and ate it. Just like that white supremacist ate that heat. So what you need to understand is we ain't the same. Oh, I stand on mine, and not about me having a bunch of people to hold me up. Come fight my battle for me. No. No. Yeah, my jacket is reputable. You've seen people in my chat that could tell you I'm solid. Inside and out. People live with me on the inside. People live with me on the outside. Solid as hell. Both sides. children, childhood friends done been in my chat. Same person. See, I don't have the story of getting woke on 2000 nothing. You got to go back to the 80s talking to me because I was raised this way. So when I say long-standing reputation, some of your artists out here that you like, I'm talking long-standing reputation. So when you put my name out there, like I said, so when people use my name like that, it don't bother me. Like when I caught my little situation, people were calling my wife like, man, what's going on? Because they put me on the news real quick. People that talk like I do and, have already been known to the system to be a radical. Yeah, no, I wear this. I wear this less some sidewalk sucker that just showed up yesterday after the FBA flag was even created, then take the name on him and then start trying to hop out here like you belong. If you don't get your little young ass away from me with that nonsense, and I call you young because you are a 50-year-old kid out here playing middle school girl games. Look at this. You really think that you look attractive to anyone at 50 so worried about someone else's husband on Twitter? Because won't you tell the real? The only way that I knew it was you is by what you said in the first place, because you couldn't even hide it. Why would you have retweeted me with your troll account and make no sense of what you said? That's why she couldn't come back. So she got checked on that and realized that the pressure was on. And when I said she overshot herself, now she's going on full-blown preventive defense. Because this is the preventive damage control to everything that I've done built, and I'm going to threaten to send you while you cyberstalking me. So yeah, let's just put that in the wind. This woman has been cyberstalking me. And she's been cyberstalking Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur as well. So, it's so funny. I had Judas Outlaw calling me and texting me when he was doing a bunch of suspect stuff, and he got threatened with a lawsuit or to be sued because he was doing all of these cyber stalking ass tactics. And so when he got checked on that, he's hitting me, man. They gonna call Babylon on me, man. Hey, man, can you believe this? How anybody that say they pro-black gonna call Babylon on me? How are you as a man calling yourself cyber stalking anyone? But before you over here making a woman feel uncomfortable about how you keep pressing the issue, trying to be in her space when she don't want you to, but you worried about how she had to tell you or give you an ultimatum to get you to leave her alone, Judas. So while I'm glad for you guys, because you guys built a whole platform on Twitter Spaces off of Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur's video and content of the mental illness piece. So good for you. You guys splintered off of stolen content. Great. And people are listening to it. And because both of you guys are so mentally damaged, you guys can actually spend time sharing your different character flaws amongst one another. Cool, fine. It's fine and dandy. You guys might seriously want to talk to a therapist, though, to actually get into the realm of healing. But if that is some kind of therapeutic action for you, man, so be it. Just know that I have sense and sanity, so I will not be in a space with y'all because I've already seen your behavior. So it doesn't really lend itself to profitable time use. In the meantime, I understand Twitter is a space where a lot of people perceive. You know, they look at things and they say, well, I could do this. I'm going to shoot, man. You know, jealousy is a whole different type of aspect. And I've been told that, you know, people have been using my talking points or whatnot. Yeah, whatever. Because at the end of the day, when you have no originality, you'll never be able to make money. No, instead, you'll have to be sitting back watching. You're going to have to sit back, watch JJ.
I mean, where is JJ getting all this cash?
And see, that might very well be the type of attitude that people are in, even just based on what they perceive your attention that you get is. And you know, it is it's very toxic, Oyella. Very, very, very. You said you can't even share New Black Media without them watching. No. And, you know, this is the thing. For me, I am not motivated by, I've never been motivated by clout. That just doesn't make any sense to me anyway. But, I mean, you know, just with this individual doing the most, I don't know what to tell her. You know, ma'am, I could just hit you with the gift. That's all I could really do. And again, you know, see, so I had to hit her with the gift, doing the most. We're not going to be arguing because we don't have nothing to talk about. I mean, I only address things, and that's how she'll get attention. It's like, oh, maybe I'll do it, and maybe I have never had anybody that you like. Have you ever had somebody you have no dealings with just have this whole mental thing going on somewhere else, and then in their mind, y'all like in something? This is weird, family. This is just super weird. It's like, ma'am, all I know you from is from being a fellow moderator. We ain't never had no conversations like that. Now, obviously, you were trying to reach out to do that. But no, I don't move like that. So we weren't doing that. Because, again, one of the things I noticed right off the rip, you got into our group chat, and one of the very first things that we saw from you was your ass. When you got into the FBA group, very first thing you did was tell people how you were freshly single. That was your very first post in the group. And of course, you already know how I know. That's why you're tagging D. Tubman. So if you know that, then you also know I never said that I was the. Because remember, you said you've been watching my content. So you know you good and damn well you ain't heard me say that. But you're going to lie on me anyway. They probably listening to me right now in the space like, look, he talking shit, see, and he think he's something. And see, girl, he think he's something. See, he ain't no big old nigga. Actually, you've never seen me in person, ma'am. I'll bite your tongue. Because most people who talk that type of shit normally do. It's the funny games go right out the window when they be seeing people in person. Be like, oh. Yeah, you know, you still it's gonna pop out? Yeah, you know, that smoke hit different when it's live in person, huh? It sure do, huh? Yeah, 200 something say something different. You thought, I don't know, maybe I look like a little dude. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not short, no. So I mean, you know. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, man, we need to be mature, brother. See, this is the thing, man. All that fighting stuff, man, come on, man. We got to be mature, man. I done heard people, I'm going to slap you when I see you. No, all right. Well, I'm going to be here. I'll be right here Wednesday night. You know where I'm at. I got a jam every Wednesday night. You'll be able to find me. Right here. We used to have our jams every Wednesday night. We moved them to Thursdays. Oh, I ain't hard to find. We could arrange a date. I heard a white dude online call. He said, "Oh, I'll call you a nigger to your face." I guarantee you won't. I guarantee you won't. And after he said that, do you know a few of these other brothers out here hopped up in the chat was like, "Oh, well, if you passing that out, I want some too." This is how we move out here. I don't know what y'all on out there. And all of this, I want to spend all my time going back and forth with black folks. Man, like I said, fraudulent black agent, FBA. And it's unfortunate. But I'm going to tell you, Granny, you better leave me alone. Because you ain't going to like, you do not want me. And I mean, come on now. Look at my hair. I remember something like that. See, here's another problem because my hair is blacker and longer than hers. Well, Steve is still with all of this gray. But here's the real kicker. My hair is longer than hers. So you can do all of that yapping and all of that. Yeah, that's cool. Let me straighten mine out and straighten yours out. Yeah, I got you about 5-6 inches, baby. Jeez. So anyway, it's unfortunate, but I don't like spending a lot of time talking about worthless individuals because we're always going to deal with haters. We're always going to deal with hatred. However, this is so messy that I had to address it. Fraudulent black agent versus foundational black American. Absolutely. And when you putting my name in a public space, here's one thing that somebody I would say anybody maybe over the age of 35 would first think. Have you tried to have a private conversation with this person about your differences? Well, actually, for me, I would love for somebody, if somebody has listened to what her supposed problem is with me, I would love to hear it. Same with Judas, because they've had to make up something. So there is nothing that I would be able to really know. That's why my moderator hit me today and let me know, okay, this is what's going on. All right. I mean, I've been around so long. This ain't the first time that I've had somebody try to do this on me. I mean, and what's so funny about it is when people actually start hitting me up, like, yo, you know this chick? Yo. So here's the story, and I wasn't trying to get into it, but yo. And that's usually how things happen because people try to keep pushing it. Like, I really don't throw people under the bus. I may know you're a clout chasing thirst trapper. Yes, I'll probably pick that up moment one. Thing is, I'm not winning or gaining by busting you out on that. If what you're doing doesn't affect anything that we're trying to get accomplished, then be you. Be you. I don't understand. Yeah, it's unfortunate. See, that's the thing with the Judas cat. He portrayed himself as a real friend to individuals. When you do that and you betray trust like that, then turn around and get out there and start, people hating on me. Man, you were in a whole prayer group praying with people 3 times a day. And then you have the nerve to sit up here and start talking about each and every last one of them got something hateful to say to every last one of them. So, I mean, when I heard that, and here's the thing, I can't really respect it all. As a man, you own that shit when you come to me. Don't come hiding to me like, oh, did he hear yet? maybe he did. Oh, cool. He ain't heard yet. Hey, man. So, yeah, what's going on, man? You know, and playing me like that. Because other people didn't just want to have you looking some kind of way. But I'm telling y'all, when people act like that, oh, yeah, you damn straight. I want to know. Because that type of behavior, I don't co-sign. I ain't co-signing that for no one. That person got to straighten that out. And when you going out here burning your bridges and, you know, you got to call folks from crazy houses and people ain't throwing you under the bus, but you're going to have to sit up here and put people's names on here and be trying to do all of this. You got your little kid looking like a gangster on dancing around in both in your socks. Man, I'm going to tell you like this. You better leave me alone. And I think this will be my last broadcast before them receipts drop, if I am not left alone. You put my name in some more shit. Because here's the thing. I can't actually get at you for what you've done. You did other things and you got your stuff reported for using my name before. That is cyber stalking, ma'am. What is wrong with you? We do not have a relationship. We are not involved. We have never had a friendship. We have not even had an associateship. None of it. We knew each other by way of the royal court moderating for Queen Abadiah Shakur. That's it. You wanted to build your relationships with other individuals. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Why? Because Beatzilla know how to stay in his lane. Seems like you don't know too much how to stay in yours. Why is my name in your posts? Because I have to keep talking about how you won't leave me alone? That is desperate. And if anybody has a mental like that, this is one of those things I haven't incurred. For those of you who have been down with me on my Instagram, I used to have a stalker a few years back. So much so that I had to literally do the stalker selfie series. I literally did a stalker selfie series on Instagram because every day this woman would walk past my house because she literally walked through the neighborhood to find out where the car was parked. Because we was at the coffee shop in the neighborhood. Kind of the black think tank congregation spot until the white folks got wise too and was like, oh, you smart niggas over here, got to get out of here. Been empty ever since. Empty for like 7, 8 years now. So this woman was figuring out a way to come by the house every single day, making an excuse that, she was getting her exercise on her walk. So when I say I've been around, kind of done this type of thing before, absolutely have. You know good and damn well we ain't got no type of relationship or dealings with each other whatsoever. This woman also knew. This woman would actually know she seemed all right, but she still couldn't help herself. So there are people like this that just have these obsessions. I mean, it's almost been a year since she's been away from moderating for Queen Abadiah Shakur. Why is my name coming up now? Because she wants to, every time she wants to be mad at someone else, instead of hitting that person, she contacts me. I mean, I'm old enough to be certain people's father. Yeah, I actually am. You know, actually, 2 of my moderators, to be quite honest. Ooh-wee. Yeah, shout out to, I mean, you know, it's generational curses. on the real. So, I mean, you know, and at that point, shoot, you know, not too far from my oldest right now. So, again, you know, we have been able to be in these positive Black spaces for decades now. Been part of, well, again, you know, being part when things weren't really popular. You know, when people were trying to figure out what they was going to do in life, and being militant wasn't one of them. I mean, when I was in high school, we had a Black Panther Party chapter in my school. In high school. I mean, so like I'm saying, out here, things were different. But because it's so small, we got, you know, we were kind of laser focused in on culture. So I think that helps. Because we got a good education of culture, and so it was able to basically give us a lot of experiences that I see some people haven't had, because some people have spent a lot of their time in the church. See, so for me, I'm the type of person, I know how I've raised my kids to understand this system. I don't have to now go back and reteach my children because I just woke up a year ago. You understand? And this particular woman who keeps tagging me, she's in that predicament. I've heard that out of her own mouth in a meeting. On top of that, while everybody was boycotting Asian nail shops, oh, this one takes herself and waltzes right on in one. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. It would have been a great day for you had you would have not tried me. But I mean, let's be clear. If you have to sit up, oh, it's not a good day for me. Wouldn't you leave me the hell alone? Sit up here, then they're gonna tweet out there trying to get some sympathy. It's not a good day for me. I shouldn't have woke up with your BS. And I keep telling you, leave me alone. I mean, good Lord. What more do you want from me, lady? But that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I'm having a bad day. Sound like you had one of them Beatzilla kind of days, huh? I should have left him alone. I don't know what would make you come after me after you saw the way I roasted your boy. Come on now, leave me alone. There's other things and better constructive things you can invest your time in. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to do you a favor because I know you're watching. I know you're watching. And I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to give you something inspirational. You know, let me apologize in advance because, you know, I know with how you feel I'm such a clout chaser. I am singing on this song, but please forgive my clout chasing. I mean, you know, when people call me into the studio, I say, wait, this is going to be considered as a clout chase. Oh, no, just get on the song. But, hey, man, I'm clout chasing here, though, dude. Yikes. We'll be right back.
This is a gentle reminder of all the things you can do. Only you can shine your hue. Some people tell you what they want you to hear. When they do, it comes through
very loud and clear. You have a vision mission in the eye of your mind. As the sage saying goes, seek and nine shall find. Don't allow unsavory thoughts in your head. Fill it with these fabulous ones instead. Winner, done, joy, promise, triumphant and glee. This is what I say to thee. Remember, when you walk in your own special gate, you're gonna have the ones they're gonna hate. Look up to the sky and know you shine like the sun. When it gets too busy, just know you can always come back to the wood. Come back to the source, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your mind is sound, thoughts are valid, they do matter. Know your truth, the truth within. Your heart will never shatter. Be confident as you climb your ladder. Remember, only you can do what you do. Come on, light keeper, gonna illuminate your hue. Show that smile, the one with the joy and the fun. When it gets too loud, just know you can always come back to the one. Come on back to the one within. Hey, hey. All right, lovely people, it's time to sing along, long, long. Let's walk in thine power. Sing, sing. Walk in your power. Hey. Blessings will continue to shower you. To shower you. As long as you shine your. Go on and walk. Walk in your power. Yeah, yeah. Blessings will continue to shower you. Shower you. As long as you shine. Come on and walk in your power. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you talk about the blessings that will shower. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as only you walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine, only you can shine it bright. Yeah. Blessings will continue to shower you. Shine. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine your. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine your hue, yeah.
You know what's funny? It's unfortunate with black folks, but drama brings so much attention. And I don't like that type of attention because, you know, I'm not about drama. So we have people who are out here doing stuff, and the lowbrow individuals who listen to lowbrow people, like, oh man, you know, when you always see somebody overshooting, they're always trying to act like, man, I'm sharp, I'm smart, I'm gonna drop my knowledge on y'all. Then you just sound like a jackass because you were so concerned with getting something, getting the point across that, man, you know, you didn't even see the whole scope of what you were trying to involve yourself in. Let me see this other video. Where is that at? Because this is another little story that there it is. this other story that y'all may not have heard. But it's Biden sexual time. Hey, man, you guys are taking another one on the chin. Family, I have to assume. See, this is my thing. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. See, this is when you know people actually truly don't follow your content. So they must be getting their content from someone else. Look at that. I've posted this for those of you who follow me on Instagram, right? If you fly this, it says you are a terrorist, not a patriot, right? You see these on the bottom? Okay, well, here's all of the American Nazi stuff up here. Here's on the bottom. Well, that's Nazis in Ukraine. Joe Biden just gave them $14 billion. He actually proposed 2. They actually gave them 14. Let me read what this smart fella had to say. Sounds like you voted for Biden. Fam, and it sounds like you are sitting up in spaces with fraudulent black agent and Judas Outlaw, because that was incredibly dumb and so far off of point when Joe Biden just gave the people on the bottom $14 billion. So while you're trying to be clever and slick and then trying to take a shot, damn, you failed just like the woman that you're following. That's how I can always see, oh, well, you must have been sent from her because this is, geez, well, at least it didn't have typos.
15 minutes. Share with everyone. Finally, news that speaks to us.
A recent study found nearly 20 black colleges and universities have been underfunded by states for decades. According to Forbes, between 1987 and 2020, 18 HBCUs were underfunded by $8 billion, leaving them operating on thinner budget margins compared to predominantly white.
All right. Well, looks like we're doing that all over again. And this time, I tried another window. I now know it is StreamYard. This is you, because I use on my own internal for my other broadcast and had 0 problems while using the mic. I'm not even using a mic. I'm just using the camera. And now I am getting in a situation to different programs. I'm having the same problem in 2 different programs. There's only one thing that is synonymous here, and that is StreamYard, which we're gonna have to figure out something here, man, because how you got people paying for stuff that's doing this? So what I might have to see, I can't use the mic like I'm supposed to. It keeps freezing my windows. It ain't been doing that until y'all added these last supposed features to your platform. And now all of a sudden it's happening all the time. So StreamYard, you get money, and you make a lot of money from us black content creators. Us black content creators should not be going through so much trouble on a stream and a platform that we're paying for. Period. Get it together. Now, let me get back in here to get this video. Boy, I tell you, these folks are something else. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Oh, let me play this real quick first, though. Why is it cute? All right, let's try that again. Let's try this again. Lord. Whoa, boy, trying to give me the blues tonight, ain't it? He was mean, FBA. All right, well, I guess I ain't going to be playing that one. But nonetheless, I did want to mention this, so it won't let me add videos to stream. But let me say this. Joy Reid has now started using new black media and the grassroots talking points. You people who I say I'm the boss of. There's one leader, and I'm him. Weirdo liars. Jesus. So in the other news, because so many people are so thirsty, they missed this particular story that black colleges, historically black colleges, have been getting shorted for decades. So not only did Joe Biden cut their money this go around, but they have actually been losing money anyway, just simply based on the fact that they weren't getting what they were owed from the state.
A recent study found nearly 20 black colleges and universities have been underfunded by states for decades. According to Forbes, between 1987 and 2020, 18 HBCUs were underfunded by $8 billion, leaving them operating on thinner budget margins compared to predominantly white schools in the same state. Those schools received federal land grant funding, but were reportedly cheated out of billions, mostly by southern states. Schools receiving land grant funding require federal dollars to be matched by the state, but for decades, predominantly white institutions have gotten that money and more. Howard University professor Ravi Perry talked to my colleague Tashani Whitlow about how this affects the schools.
Let's continue the conversation. We're going to bring in Dr. Ravi Perry. He's the department chair and professor of political science at Howard University. Dr. Perry, first let me just say thank you before we get into all this. It's a pleasure. I know you're a busy man, but are you surprised? You work at an HBCU. Are you surprised by this report?
No, I'm not surprised with this report. I mean, I do work at Howard. It's a private HBCU, although we are funded via the federal appropriation from Congress. But, I used to work at land grant institutions in Mississippi, for example, and I'm very familiar with the fact that the public HBCUs have been historically not funded at the level, as it was just indicated, that they should be. And there's two main reasons for that. One, that funding is supposed to be guaranteed by the state. And
one main reason, white supremacy.
The state, of course, is run by state elected officials, state representatives, state senators, and in most cases, particularly in those southern states that you just mentioned, those southern states are largely governed by conservative Republicans who have historically not sought to invest in black communities on a whole host of issues, education just being one of them. We've seen this narrative happen, though, successfully where those public HBCUs have fought back, like in the state of Maryland, where they fought back, they sued, and they got much of the redress of their wrongs in some more recent funding in places like Morgan State, Bowie State, et cetera, in the state of Maryland. But we need to see this across the country, and particularly throughout the South. And we need to remind ourselves that these are state-funded dollars. And so the public HBCUs are owed every single dollar that the predominantly white institutions are owed, because they all are the same, and that they're land grant public institutions that are funded by taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, I mean, and they're doing good work, but to the tune of being underfunded by nearly $13 billion. But educating 80% of black judges, 50% of black lawyers and doctors, 25% of folks in STEM. I mean, is this part of a larger conversation, Dr. Perry?
Well, I think what it shows is that, that HBCUs have been very frugal and quite successful with limited funds. And so just imagine if we actually got the funds that we're owed, how much more success would we be able to create? And to be clear, we're historically black colleges and universities. None of them are exclusively black. So we don't only serve the African American community. This is an American story. This is an international story. Students from all over the world attend HBCUs, and to not give those schools their proper funding is to rob each and every one of those students and their faculty members and the administrators with the tools and resources needed to fully advance the progress that we're looking for, particularly in black communities, but really for all of those who are seeking higher education at an HBCU.
Yeah. Dr. Payne, the founder of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, right? She just came right flat out and called it the highest level of sanctioned discrimination. I see you shaking your head. You agree?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it absolutely is a sanctioned discrimination. Why is it discrimination? Because again, these are public dollars. And so regardless of what color you are, if you live in a state, you pay taxes. Those taxes, a portion of them are supposed to go back to your public state institutions, and it's supposed to be done in an equitable basis. And so to the extent that it has not been equitable, then that means that there is discrimination that's taken place. That's not a red herring. That's just pointing out the absolute facts. But it's up to us, those of us who live in these states, particularly in southern states, in places like South Carolina, for example, or Mississippi, where you have 40% of the black population in these kinds of states. We have to rise up and make sure that we're paying attention to what's happening in our state legislatures. It's all politics, all state and local for the most part. We need to remember that if we're not engaged in our state and local politics, these are the kinds of things that happen that circumscribe our own ability in black communities to rise above the ashes.
Dr. Perry, driving the message home. We appreciate your time, sir.
Hey. So, again, HBCUs, and I mean, that's, neither here nor there. So you can take that one with a grain of salt. Because you go back to HBCU's origins. Of course, they all have white benefactors that were the reason for these institutions to begin with, to create more streamlined-minded workers to enter into the workforce. So basically, let's get these Negroes educated to be workers and to fall in line with status quo. That's why, you have, these philosophy courses in college and stuff a lot of it's indoctrination. So, and here's something funny that's going on here right now with the CRT thing. Florida just put a ban on teaching LGBTQ plus information to, I think it's K through third grade, or maybe it's K through sixth grade. So K through, I think, 11 years old, so 5 to 11. And right now, people are up in arms about them having problems with that. And you know what's so funny about that? Is these very same people have no support for CRT. So you have no support for CRT, critical race theory, but you want our children. So our little black children cannot learn about themselves, but you want to push a sexual agenda on these kids? I mean, and I do that because that's what that is. Because we were all children, and me as a parent, we've had kids. So I know what having all of your information in sex ed being given, all of that's given, all down to sexual preference, how you identify, all of that was in when I was in school. So to act like you have to teach little 5-year-olds and preschoolers, hell no, you don't. No, you do not. No, you don't. And I mean, like I said, for those of y'all who know, I got a cousin, growing up, okay, forever. So, I mean, this whole thing about, no. It just is what it is. And see, when you guys chose not to support black folks, see, this is why the Billy Porters come out here out their ass and no, black folks, you do this and you do that and you do that. And right now, white neo-Nazis are getting $4 billion, Billy Porter, $14 billion. to fight a war that America has no stake in. Well, America itself doesn't, but somebody that is part of America does have two chemical weapon installments in Ukraine that these people just fled from and let the Russians find out. So now you have Americans talking about that these Russians have stumbled up on these Ukrainian. They aren't Ukrainian, they're American. So when y'all I see these people over here trying to still rep the Democrats. Clearly, I've appeared on the Democrats radar this go around, because the responses I'm getting now are starting to come from people with clear Democratic lines. And there's one woman who is going back and forth with me, sidestepping the neo-Nazi 14 billion thing to tell me about how Joe Biden. Matter of fact, let me play this video because for those, see, here's the thing. There's those who portray FBA and B1, and then there's people like me. So for me, when I seen Joyce Beatty post this, well, then she gonna get a response, because it's like, well, hold on, how are these people allies with us? And this is exactly why we need black voices that only represent black agendas. Listen.
Everyday norm. We're pushing the envelope because that's what we do as members of the Congressional Black Caucus. It is not often that you come to the White House and you get the entire executive team to sit with you. It is not often that you come to the White House and you get more time than was scheduled. We know usually you're pulled away. So I think that speaks volumes, not only to the president, but the Congressional Black Caucus.
And so with that, she had the caption of how Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have been long-standing allies with the black community. Oh, no. We not finna sit up here on this live. We're not going into no election 2022. So guess what? One of their little pundits or talking heads, little minions said to me, well, see, they're very well aware of what New Black Media's agenda is for 2022. And they understand. We want y'all out to paint. So they're talking this midterm. Well, see, we got to, right now, that's why we got to start drumming up support. No. Black folks are not Democrat. Black folks are black. Whoever is. See, just like the thing I just showed y'all. I showed you a tweet of white American racism, and then right underneath in that same picture is Ukrainian neo-Nazis, to which Joe Biden is funded. And then you got this little lead paint chip, can't really comprehend context, hopping in there, and the first thing they do is, let me go ahead and type this out. You sound like you just voted for Joe Biden. If I'm calling the people on the top terrorists, and I'm calling the people on the bottom who just got funded $14 billion terrorists by Joe Biden, somehow in that told you I must have voted for Joe Biden. Well, I'm telling you, boy, the intellect dumbing down that's going in some of these spaces, y'all turning this product out here. MC007. the Congressional Black Circus. Yeah, I'll say. And then they always are, we're the conscience of Congress. No, you aren't. And the conscience, how's a bunch of bootlicks the conscience of anything other than bootlicking? Sheesh. Man, you got to be crazy. So, with that being said, I wanted to make sure I showed y'all the elements of everything that's going on outside of the mainstream media. Because mainstream media is literally trying to tell you that this war is just about Putin being crazy. No, it ain't. America had a whole weapons, 2 of them, labs that are right by the border of Russia. Let's see. The last bio lab that we had that people could possibly think about, you know what? This brings to mind something. The fact that these little bio lab joints are starting to pop up, for the last year and a half, up until about maybe a month ago when this whole crisis started breaking, you used to see a certain doctor on the TV every day, multiple times a day, giving live press conferences every day. When's the last time you seen that doctor giving a press conference? Or your mayor or your governor giving the status of the state? Well, family, for all of the Biden sexuals who told you you were stupid for not being venomized, let me put this in perspective. The same people who said, trust us, and I can understand why you don't trust medicine, are now funding neo-Nazis to the tune of $14 billion. And on top of that, we find out that these very same people who are funding Nazis are also involved in biological weapons. Seems to me like some sanctions might need to be occurring on this place, because that is a weapon of mass destruction. And one thing that's most important, America took its ass all the way over to Iraq. Russia ain't came to America. But you put things on another continent, right next to their border, and want us to cry for the debacle that you caused. Fraud, Chief. You ain't heard from him since. I wonder what his connection is with all of these bio weaponry. Because, you know, there's another known billionaire who has been rumored to have business interests in bio weapons. See, here we give true news, politic journalism. We speak the truth and we give it as it is. And sometimes you may see things here that no one else has brought out. That's what content creators do. And most content creators won't have much time to do random TikTok videos of other people's content. So, there is that. With that being said, do not let these people deceive you. We are in the thick of things because we are coming down to the wire. And so we are going to have a lot of infiltrators in here who knows why different people infiltrate. See, the one thing that you can't infiltrate something that you build. See, when you're part of the building process, and here's one thing, Miss Fraudulent, the person to whom you actually tagged would be one of those people who knew exactly what was happening years ago. So the fact that you were nowhere around then, but you're trying to bring me into your mix now. All I can say is you ain't the first cloud chaser around this mix, baby. So, believe it or not, that's kind of why I like having such a small platform, to be quite honest. Because, see, if I had a bigger platform, then people would be like, oh, you don't know all of these people. Oh, it would be like right now with the smaller, it's like, oh, but he don't know this, bro. He's just a small. Cool. See, if it's a big platform, then everybody, well, he might know this and might know that. Right now, you don't know who I know. So people tend to be reckless when they do that. I want to see who you really are. And, in one fell swoop, all I can say is I can give a perspective, and it got you shook. Only hit dogs holler. So if I'm asking, what name did you use before you were FBA? What name did you call yourself? What handle did you use? Or are you new to Twitter since FBA? What they say about the Panthers? What did I say last year in my broadcast? Grassroots, COINTELPRO tactics. With one of them in my chat. I guess he ain't tell you how my mind worked. But I guess he didn't figure it out until it was too late. So, it's always cool when people think, what Ray Charles call it, country down. I'm just going to tell, okay. Like, dude, I've been a musician my whole life, man. You know how many artists I've seen in my life? Promoters, line promoters. Hey, man, check this out, brother. See, this is great exposure for you. See, y'all still in that phase. Ain't you still telling people that line like it'll get you somewhere? Well, yeah, man. See, we small. We just starting out, But man, look, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. At my age right now, you cannot call me for even a cup of coffee. That's a consulting fee. I mean, my friends can, but if you just reaching out and I only hear from you for something, I already know what you want. That costs money. And I'm not even going to sit down and talk about it without getting paid. Because here's the thing, living in a town like this, people, because you are accessible, people take what you have done for, I still know him. So, hey, why don't you just come over here and do that for free? No, it's like I'm not worth paying. You know how many people have done that to me in this town? Then I've watched them pay people. Man, they burn us. And be wondering why I'm so staunch and make people pay me up front. You want me to leave, you better pay me a deposit in my city. Because I know how people are. Been around there, been here, done that. So when I see people doing this old little clout chasing thirsty mess, seasons, man, seasons. Everybody's here for a season. And when you don't have any roots, because shoot, anybody with FBA on your title, either this is your new page or you're just new. And if you're just new, man, it was 2020 when I heard, well, good. I'm glad in 2020 you finally seen Hidden Colors. Here's the thing for me. I knew about the information in Hidden Colors before Hidden Colors. See, so a lot of us grew up this way. So when I seen Hidden Colors, it's like, oh wow, finally something that like is talking about some of the stuff that I've heard as a kid. So it was really dope to see, and I'm glad he put it together. Here's another thing. I go back with that when he was promoting his stuff on Michael Imhotep's show. Who knows that? So there's a lot of people that come out here out the woodwork talking out of their ass. That's cool. Because, I mean, shoot, ask Tariq about his insight on the whole, was it Christopher Darden? Or not Christopher Darden. What's that dude's name? Is it Darden? My man that went ham up there, and they had to go get that brother out the woods, man. And he was calling in Michael Imhotep because he knew, some things about it because they kind of, Chris Dorner, they implemented him because I guess he was, kind of inspired by Tariq as well. Thinking also Professor Black Truth, I think might be one. Zoe Williams. So, people who have been around for a minute. And like I said, shoot, I go back to the early 2000s when Jason Black was traveling through here because he had people on my block. So, I mean, again, vet these people. Make these, that's my whole thing. Don't get mad at me when I tell people to vet you that you can't be vetted like other people can. Because that all that's saying is, well, you trying to hide your fraudulent situation. Shoot, go ask somebody about me. That's the whole point of having a good name. That's why I'm not in the boat having to sit up here and do a bunch of damage control. And, all I can respond is with a gift. You doing the most. Not no big, I'm offended, and oh man, somebody trying to besmirch my character. Let me get on this video. Trying to besmirch my character. And maybe it's just you. Man, y'all sit up there watching that madness, man. Y'all gonna make some LLC investments over there at the Bando. Gonna pull up at the Bando and go invest in some realty. Gonna make you a Goldman Sachs, Bernie Madoff investment over there with the good LLC of Judas Outlaw. Judas Outlaw LLC investments, man. Yeah, go check him out. He'll get you right. I mean, because, man, a cat that can't show his face dancing in his room in his socks or dancing in front of a bando with trash cans on the floor or trash bags on the ground. I mean, man, you can't lose. He definitely knows where the right investments are. I mean, look at his running buddy. He is a prime investor. It just depends on what you're looking to invest in. And with that note, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall. And the 2/3 with it. And let us rise. Can you dig it? I mean, I could be petty. And I just kept it simple. So I didn't even do no video. I didn't make no video, no nothing, But while I'm live, I mean, somebody, you feeling sad and then I'm feeling bad. Well, here, let me give you a pick me up. Why don't you do a space and put that nigga name in it? Hey, you know what else you could do to not look so bad? Why don't you hit up D-Tubman and then you tag her in a comment and then tweet him in it. And then what you'll do is like, man, I don't know why he coming after me. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. You know one thing for Judas, and I know, my everybody know my wife is impartial, but for a lot of y'all know my wife be hearing this. So y'all know She was like, it don't make no sense for nobody to lie like that. And here's the one thing, dude. She never even said nothing about it. She just sat up here and watched you, and heard your little fraudulent crap. And it was like, damn, you were actually being patient with him and trying to really give him good advice, and he just do that? Like, so like I said, oh, you said A Space was like 5 people? I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, people have issues they have to work on. And, they ain't got nothing to do with me. And it's unfortunate that I even have to address it because I wasn't. I mean, this person has been out of the mix for a year. So it's like, you're not on my radar, but you're doing what you're doing. Oh, well, man, you're going to have, oh, Lord. Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. But, I can't help you. Denise Soul, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah. Oh, you said too bad you didn't invest in some. Oh, damn it, Silent D. That's another aspect, I guess. If you are going to be representing yourself as an investor, you might want to look the part. And I don't know if I really want to look. If I'm going to make an investment, seriously, what am I going to see with a person in a blue St. Louis hat and a blue bandana mask wrapped around their face? What does that tell me as a businessman? That, oh, I ain't real because I'm looking at this and judging a book by its cover? All right, well, you go spend your money with that. Tell me how it worked out. Let us know how that turned out on Yelp, bro. And see, I ain't even been getting at him, man. I ain't even played the video, and I'm not going to play the video, by the way. But I ain't even did them like that. So, no more shine for them. And maybe that's just the problem. Like, man, ain't nobody talking about us except for all the other people on Twitter Spaces that I've started beefs with. And it's amazing. It's like, how are the people who were like some of these big freedmen and all of this, all of a sudden now I'm seeing a Twitter space that people are lying on the Marcel brother and the other Tamara. So these are 2 potential candidates, and I can't help but know these 2 were involved in the mix. I don't know what part they got to play, but I know in these spaces and groups that they've been in, I've noticed all of them in them. Because I'll go see who's in these groups. But, well, I guess I ain't going into this one. It's like, oh, this one's a speaker? Y'all got this person speaking? So, all right, I'm watching some of y'all because I understand people do watch to observe, so I get it. But damn. Oh, Lord, man. Whew. Family. This tweet just do it for me, though. This tweet. Today is not a good day for me. I did not have to wake up being harassed, ma'am. Nor did my moderator have to wake up being harassed. You could have been a mature adult, Granny, and not been playing games trying to poke fun at people half your age. You're supposed to be the leader, be one. You got a whole extra you age on her. Double take, you a perfect double, matter of fact, so I don't know what you talking about. You need to calm down because you too old for that. And we don't need any more old crotchety grannies. This is a new day and age. All you is being an old messy nigga. I understand you definitely came around them church crowd. That's why you just recently fresh out the church. You could always tell. And number one, you got grown kids and they got to be told about pro-blackness. Well, they called me the Black Panther. Why? Because you just as new as they is. Why would they call you that? Well, have all of this stuff we talk about here, man, she don't know none of that. So if you hear my talking points out there, then yeah. That's why he said, "Nah, Grandma, I'm always suspect of anyone who hits me up in my DMs asking for money, campaigns, or startups." Well, that part too. That part too. Well, guess we had to address it, and hopefully I don't have to address this anymore. There's no more Twitter spaces with my name in them. And this cyber stalker gets the message and figures to go do something else. I mean, with all the attention that this person thinks they're getting from where they're getting it from, I have no understanding why she is so concerned about mine. I'm just one person who can't get to $1,000. So I see my brother is just probably starting his intro right now. So again, a lot of people don't understand how the West Coast and the country work out here because y'all out there and y'all a bunch of weirdos. So I'm just leave it like that. But if you didn't know, me, D, and Tariq are all on the West Coast. Good job. You, again, like I told you earlier today, overshot yourself. You can follow me on Instagram, beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Twitter, beatzillapdx, and on Facebook, beatzillapdx, and of course on Patreon, beatzillapdx, and on Melanated People with the blue check, Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. And of course, you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And of course, if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you definitely can by way of donation at CashApp $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, of course. And that is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK. So with that being said, family, it's been a rough night for some. And let's just make sure they try to keep it from making it a harder week for themselves. And we will be doing this once more Friday night for the weekly wrap up. And of course, this broadcast has been brought to you by none other than The Real. Oh, and that's actually the wrong one. Today's title is Donald Trump is statewide white supremacy, and Joe Biden is global white supremacy. And like you see on the screen, they are just simply two wings of the same bird. And these do-nothings right here are just as worthless. So just remember, don't ever let these people, when they try to come in our conversations, you check it quick because we do not have anything to prove to them at all. And if you see my name in somebody's title, let me know. Because at the end of the day, it'll be just like this. Lordy me. So I say, boy, these people, all that cloud chasing just for money. For the love of money. Now it's just simply for the love of clout. Yikes. Well, over here in this little corner of the world of new black media, this has been the Beatzilla PDX official show. Shout out to the 1/3 and for all the 2/3 who have tuned into Fraudulent Goddess and Judas Outlaw. Hey man, I don't know what to say, man. That's the 2/3 club over there, so you might want to figure something out soon. Until you do, I can just tell you, Shalom, and you better keep a pocket full of stones.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth.
Yeah.
See, that's what you throw.
Yes, right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.